hung on the wall for 15 years with nothing on them. And when me and my son came here, we researched all of this and tagged it all.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'm going to go back up front because I don't know, there may be somebody waiting on me.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
This is a great story here. And there's a book up there that tells you a story about each one of these. This gentleman is George Mills. Now he was a slave, and he went with his master, Captain Bryson, to war. The father said, "You bring back my son." Well, Captain Bryson was killed in Maryland, I think. Sometimes it all runs together. Too much history.
Sure.
And so he bought this coffin. It's an iron coffin, and he put it on a train. And then he had to use a wagon to get it here from Greenville, Tennessee. So, when they expanded the church and they moved the graves, this is Mr. Mills escorting the casket to the new grave. So, that was really a nice story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an amazing historian. She lived here all her life and knows everybody and knows everything. A lot of history here.
And we're fortunate to have Emily with us today. She has a huge amount of information on what has happened within eyeshot of us. And across the street from the Waverly, just across 8th Avenue, is the site today of Boyd Park.
A lot of resorts here over the years. Here's a Wheeler Hotel. It's a lot like the Antlers in the old days.
We'll talk about later, it was the original Hendersonville High School. But the Notman home was important to Emily because that was her great-grandfather. And across the street was her great-grandfather, Wheeler, at the Wheeler Hotel. And she just has a wonderful amount of information and history and photos on both of these sites. And I wonder, Emily, how in the world did you come into all this information and know it so well?
Well, most all of this information belonged to my grandmother, Emily Wheeler from her name. And when I was a girl, I used to spend a lot of time with her down in her home in Batesburg. And she had all these family pictures that were always all over the house, all over her bedroom. And many of those photos ended up being collected into a great big book that was down under our home.
And this is why I like getting off the interstates and coming to these little towns, see the little museums, because you get a little one-on-one interaction with some of the people, and it's just much more interesting to me than just going someplace like the Biltmore, where I'm paying my $10 and I'm just one of the 1,000 people visiting today. Nobody spends any time with you unless you spend money. This is free, by the way. All the houses here have names. Chandloop.
Also, we have her journal, and this tells us so much about Hendersonville, the area, the hotel.
And here's the building we're in right there. It was a courthouse laid out in 1841. hotel gates. That's right across the road from here, I think. Well, here's the some of the battles we already looked at. Battle of Kings Mountain, we were there last month. Battle of Cowpens, we were there. We were through Rutherford the other day. There's a section here talking about graveyards and gravestones, but I found this one really interesting. There's a gravestone in the shape of an oak tree, and here's the story behind it. This guy was an engineer and died in a train wreck, crashed into a tree. There's his engine on the gravestone. After the wreck, they installed safety switches. I want you to look at this beautiful quilt. This thing is 10 foot wide, 6 foot tall maybe. That was done with love for sure. Little scenes. I've never seen a quilt done quite like this. It's pretty neat. They even sell postcards of this quilt.